Hello everyone. The point of this video will be to address one of the newest claims from the globe propagandists that YouTuber Mr. Sensible was able to film the supposed curvature of the Earth with a high-altitude balloon at 127,000 feet. I'm seeing this bogus ball earther claim a lot lately, and so I feel compelled to address it. First of all, kudos to Mr. Sensible for getting his balloon up to 127,000 feet. That's pretty good. I actually hope more people will continue to send up high-altitude balloons. I think it's beautiful. Of course, if the Earth was spinning at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, then Mr. Sensible's balloon should have landed over 1,000 miles to the west, but it didn't. Without question, Mr. Sensible proved that the Earth is indeed stationary. I also find it a bit ironic that Mr. Sensible and his cohorts claim that he filmed the curvature of the Earth, when all globe propagandists believe in the magical effect of refraction that supposedly removes the curvature and giant bulges of earth and water and places mountains of curvature far behind objects that should be hidden by the bulge. If such selective wraparound the curvature refraction existed, you cannot then claim to have filmed the actual edge of the ball Earth because you might be looking at a mirage. But I'm not going to dwell on Mr. Sensible's clear proof of the stationary Earth or the ball Earth refraction paradox. Instead, I want to address the fraudulent claim that Mr. Sensible filmed the curvature of the Earth from 127,000 feet. Of course, that contradicts Neil deGrasse Tyson's claim that you cannot film the curvature of the Earth from that same altitude.
So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and you say, wow, he's in space, look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
That's pretty funny, but Neil deGrasse Tyson was correct.
That stuff is flat.
But let's assume that astrophysicist and planetary scientist Mr. Tyson doesn't really represent ball earthers. I'm going to do a much closer analysis of this footage, but I first wanted to point out something about the local sun. As you watch the camera spin, notice that there seems to be a bit of a bulge near the sun. I'm sure the ball earthers will squint really hard and call that the curvature, but the local sun does seem to produce a light bulge more directly under the sun as it lights up more of the atmosphere. It's just another factor to keep in mind. Now, when you go to Mr. Sensible's video, he begins with the typical wide-angle lens fake curvature playing in the background. Using wide-angle lenses to fake the curvature is pretty much a standard for all ball Earth proponents. I guess the actual flat horizon video wouldn't have looked so awesome for Mr. Sensible, but in the description of his video, Mr. Sensible linked to a website by globe propagandist Walter Bislin, who conducted his own bogus analysis of Mr. Sensible's video. I'm not going to click on the link because it wouldn't surprise me if they try to hit me with a copyright issue, but Walter's website shows pictures like this one and this one that seem to indicate that the alleged curvature filmed by Mr. Sensible matches the supposed curvature of the Earth perfectly. I'll have links in the description. According to ball earther Walter, on this page I compare the curvature of the horizon with the predicted curvature of my curvature app. The curvature shown in the video, linked above, matches exactly with the prediction of the curvature app, which is based on a globe with radius 6,371 kilometers. This means the observed curvature of the horizon is caused by the spherical shape of the Earth. Since so many of the globe trolls like to link to this website now, is globe propagandist Walter Bislin telling you the truth? There does seem to be an almost imperceptible distortion of the camera, but it's pretty close to reality, and it depends where the horizon is in relation to the view of the camera, and that's important for our analysis, and that's important for any analysis of high-altitude footage. Now, Walter Bislin says he corrected the alleged slight barrel distortion of the camera. According to Bislin, This camera has only a slight barrel distortion, which I corrected with a Lightroom setting of 8 of 100, so that the two strings are straight and the image shows the undistorted reality. This is where the deception takes place, but I'll let you be the judge of whether Walter was lying. I'm going to show you images from Mr. Sensible's full-length balloon video. Unlike Bislin, I'm not going to distort the images in any way, and I'm going to properly show you stills from the lowest to the highest altitudes. There's a reason why Walter didn't do the same. I'm only adding a straight black line near the horizon for reference. Yes, the line is straight. If you're unhappy about the line, you can download Mr. Sensible's footage and do the exact same thing and follow the time marks. Here's the first still from 238 meters or 781 feet. I think everyone would have to agree that there doesn't appear to be any measurable barrel distortion at this low altitude. I'm using this low angle of the horizon because this will be the same relevant angle at the end of the footage. This is important when you conduct your own analysis. The next still is at 1,793 meters or 5,883 feet. No barrel distortion is visible. Here's a still at 2,781 meters or 9,124 feet. Ball earthers must still agree that there should not be any perceptible curvature at that low altitude. As you can see, the apparent horizon is flat, as expected, and there is little to no barrel distortion. Here's a similar still at 2,856 meters or 9,370 feet. Again, there is little to no barrel distortion. This still is 4,014 meters or 13,169 feet. Little to no distortion, and the horizon is flat. Next is 5,978 meters or 19,612 feet. Little to no distortion and a flat horizon. Next is 10,290 meters or 33,760 feet. Notice there's an airplane in the distance. Kind of cool. Again, no distortion. Next, 14,463 meters or 47,451 feet. No distortion, no curvature. Here's a still from 21,770 meters or 71,424 feet. Now we're pretty high. Again, no visible curvature is present. Here is our final still with 5 seconds to the balloon popping at a whopping 38,706 meters or 126,988 feet. The horizon is flat. Now for the comparisons. 126,988 feet with 781 feet. 5,883 feet. 9,124 feet. 9,370 feet. 13,169 feet. 19,612 feet. 33,760 feet. 47,451 feet. 71,424 feet. Now, let's compare the actual still from the video with Walter Bislin's pictures on his website. The pictures are at the same altitude. This doesn't look very good for you here, Walter. I'm guessing you'll need to come up with a new refraction calculator that just adds curvature to high-altitude balloons. The globe deception seems pretty deliberate here. I'm sorry, our globe faithful, but Mr. Sensible not only proved that the Earth is stationary, that there is indeed no Coriolis effect, but Mr. Sensible also proved that there is absolutely no measurable curvature at a whopping altitude of 126,988 feet. The Earth is flat.